this panel discussion is technologies that are changing the way we design and build. Key discussion points will be advances in technology are changing the way architects and designers approach their work, from 3D printing and virtual reality to building information modeling and parametric design. I request the panel chair, Mr. Anaya Livingstone, a few things about him. He is the managing director of Space Matrix Bangalore and Chennai. And a little bit about Space Matrix. They help transform workspaces to create unique, immersive environments that are intuitive to employee needs, while being sustainable, profitable with a turnover of about 500 crores in India. A huge round of applause.
Hi everyone. It's nice to see that you're also coming up. Because when we started, it was like we had very less. Hi, my name is Livingston. I have 22 years experience in this industry, and last 15 years I've been working with a company called Space Matrix. My role is like I take care of Chennai, Bangalore, and all critical markets. So I oversee as managing director. So it's a great privilege to be with you and host this panel. The topic is very, very interesting because we're talking about, we're seeing technology everywhere, and this is a very, very interesting topic to deal with. I have a great panel members here who has been like dealing this day in and day out. I would like to invite my team. Before that, I'll just give a quick introduction about Space Matrix. Space Matrix is a Singapore-based company. So we are headquartered in Singapore, and we have offices in 16 countries. And again, we have multiple verticals. We take care of the corporate offices, the workplace design, and we also have an architecture, which is a wing, which is an urban frame, and we also have a hospitality division, which is Blink. So it's been like 22 years for Space Matrix globally, and as she mentioned, we are 500 crore in India, and globally we are about 1,000 crores company. So by this meeting, I will just invite my panel team, Dinesh. So again, just a quick introduction about Dinesh. He's an architect with a master's in environmental design from Nottingham. So the Tamil Solana, he's been Pranic, we never heard now. The Pranic list. And he's been doing this for the last 10 years, so hats off to him. He's the owner of Prana Mantra, and he's been like doing a lot of corporate interiors and also a lot of commercial interiors for the last 2 years. Next is Jai Lakshmi. So Jai Lakshmi has done a UG and PG from School of Planning and Architecture from Chennai. She's a principal architect at Epic Loop Architects. Her focus is more on interior and exterior art projects. And she's been doing a lot of R&Ds, how architecture can be interfaced into a lot of other disciplines as well. Welcome. And now next we call Balaji Paliswamy, the speaker. Big round of applause for Balaji. So he's been the managing partner at BLJ Partners. He's been working for 19 years. Nice to know that, Balaji. And they are also into like steel structure designing as well. There's like a lot of engineering he's been dealing with. Next, we call upon Anirudh on stage. Anirudh is the partner at J+A Design Studio, and he's a very thorough professional. I've been having a lot of interesting conversations with him. So his experience in photogrammetry, AR, VR will be very, very influential in today's discussion as well. And next up, last panelist is Firdaus Basha. He's done a double master's in advanced architecture. It's very, very difficult to do one master's, and he's done twice. Really appreciate that. He's done it in Spain, and he's the founder of War Architects as well. Welcome on stage, Firdaus. And he's also specialized in research-oriented projects and parametric and 3D printing and all that. So those will be very, very helpful in today's discussion as well. So I'll directly go to the first question. So you've been, all of you have been practicing for 12, 13 years in this industry, and you have seen what today in terms of technology, what it compromised of. And when you started off, we have very, very less technology, right? If you can share your thoughts, each one of you, can share your thoughts of how technology has impacted, the way you're working today. It will be helpful for the entire audience to understand. Dinesh, you want to go first?
Yeah. See, the reason we are here is because we are creating spaces. We are creating interesting spaces. So, one needs to understand what our job is in the society. We have a responsibility to create residential spaces, commercial spaces, corporate spaces, beautiful spaces where people want to live, work, enjoy, be. Okay. So, who creates those spaces? For an end user, probably is a material. They want good spaces, livable spaces, healthy spaces, absolutely stunning spaces where they want to be. So, end of the day, there was time when we had to do everything, but now there is artificial intelligence which is helping us to make our work, and the result is what the end user is concerned about. So we're creating it for a society. For example, to put it very simple, we have cars which are coming from Tesla, the cars coming from Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce, every single thing is handmade. Tesla, every single thing is robot made. So, are we okay to have buildings which are designed by robots? Are we okay to have buildings which are built by robots? It's okay until we create happy spaces, livable spaces. If we are creating something which is non-livable, ugly, not good, so we are putting a hammer in our own toe, right? We are creating spaces which cannot be rented, which cannot be lived in. People don't want to be there. People don't want to look at it. So those are things which we want to avoid. And I see a lot of things which is happening today is oriented towards that, because we are looking at creating spaces very fast. That is not the motto. We want to create something really good. And if AI is going to help us do that, we welcome. And in fact, we are already adapting a lot of technologies. I think I'll ask others to.
I think Jalakshmi, if you can brief about how it impacted in your firm in terms of technology, it will be helpful.
So first, I would like to say that architecture, like I said, is creating livable spaces, but lovable spaces also. That's been our motto for Epic Loop Architects and Associates, where they come to us to create things that are beautiful, which is futuristic, and efficient also, efficient use of space. So all along, there's always been this back and forth process of interacting with clients and producing drawings to convey the idea or concept that you have in your mind has always been challenging. And I think intervention of technology helps us in a great deal. It's always fast advancing. So now, he was talking about AI and intervention of AI to create images too. The other thing is about virtual reality and augmented reality. In short, VR and AR has been highly instrumental in easing out the process of conveying the designs that we create to architects and making their concurrence. So this is immersive. Virtual reality is immersive, where instead of just showing 2D static visuals or walkthroughs, this client can walk through even before constructing their designs. They can have an immersive experience of walking through their designs and seeing it in life size or life scale, which gives them a better idea of what their project is going to be after execution. Even in large-scale apartments, we have this trend of having mock-up interiors that are created, which costs a lot of money and time, where VR has eased the process, where you don't need to exactly spend money, time or space to create immersive experience. Your VR solves the process. That's helped us and it's come handy in a lot of circumstances. In one go, they experience it and they're very happy. They're very happy to see that, this is what they're going to get at the end of the day. And we talk about augmented reality again, I think it's there, but there are a lot of areas or avenues that are yet to be explored in augmented reality. Augmented reality, as of now, what we do is, the client can visualize how the building is going to be, either in a life-size scale, using softwares or apps that we develop, using a mobile phone or your iPads, to see the image that is superimposed and created as a model, right? We do models for projects earlier, and now, this model is a augmented model using the softwares. There are n number of softwares that can be used. But then the advanced version, which is yet to be explored, is HoloLens. HoloLens can, you can go to the site and, project your building in your augmented space, where the client can move around, walk around, and visualize like a sci-fi movie. I think that's the next gen. I think that, these technologies, when they are introduced, are slightly on, economically higher side for us to explore. So HoloLens is an expensive affair, so probably that's why it's not been explored or ventured. We at Epic Group, embrace technology, where we think that it is only to enhance our entire workforce and, create a smooth intervention between the client and the architect.
Thank you. Balaji, you've done a lot of steel structures and industrials and all that. So, with your experience, you can brief about how technology helped you earlier and now. That'll be helpful.
So, like how the panelists were discussing, the extraordinary spaces or the user experience is all created with an extraordinary mind. So throughout the time, like we were trying to develop methodologies of communication, the ideas into reality. So the creation of like presentation drawings or 3D models or the construction drawings. Like earlier we had manual drawings even before Stone Age. All that is necessary development. So as the first question, I would say technology has been useful for us to reduce the communication gap. Right now, technology is developing in a stage where our minds are also multiplied with the artificial intelligence, where it gives us, the parallel ideas can be generated. And it reduces space, the gap between the communication, between the minds and the end user, or the construction stage, where we have the difficulty. Actually, if you notice that there are two types of drawings that we make. One is for the user to understand. The next one is for that space to be created. We have to create an engineering drawing or the construction drawing for the workers to execute. So there are a lot of gaps between what we think and how we execute, depending on the capacity of the people who execute it. That's how now the technology is replacing that with the ability for us to do anything that we wanted to create. So that gap, when it is reduced, we can create more marvelous spaces, and integrating the technology into our design is one aspect, how we can make it use construction is the other aspect, and also integrating, like he was asking, BIM has been used for almost last 15 to 20 years, and we had complex machineries which has to be built, integrated with the building. So earlier it was not practically possible with just taking a 2D drawings and then visualizing the complex engineering equipment inside a building. So where BIM really helped integrating of all the services, architecture spaces, the human approach, usage, and the machinery, equipment, material movement, and the production, everything has to be integrated in one system where, it is possible for all the engineers and architects to work together on one platform. And we could achieve it only because of the technology. It is highly impossible to integrate so much. Earlier, when there was no technology like what we are talking right now, the buildings were simpler. the aesthetics of the early days buildings were because it is simple, it is not complicated like what we have right now. So as you see, the technology will actually help us make more better and useful buildings.
Thank you, Balaji. I'll shift the question to Anirudh now. Anirudh, you have a great experience in VR, AR in your career. So in your perspective, if you can say how it has helped you grow.
So, my name is Anirudh. My interest with technology has started from a very young age because I've been surrounded, my family is like full of engineers. My brother is working in US on this VR. So, I'm the only dark horse, I'm the architect. So, there are two types I would say. Currently, it's design oriented and process oriented. In design oriented, the actual question is, we are talking about AI, VR and all these things. If AI starts designing buildings, will the value of human creativity come down? Because it can give multiple options. Right? The question is for everyone. We're using AI, it gives multiple options in probably a few seconds. So you use Mid-Journey, you put your design and it gives you 10 multiple options. But it does degenerate the value of human creativity, and you will start getting paid less because they are designing it for you. So that is one question. What I would say is use less of design-oriented tech and do more of process-oriented tech. Make our process easier, from design to drawings to getting it built. So that has a huge gap in all our lives. So what we do is we take time to design, then we take time to make the drawings, and we take time to execute. So each project we get associated with it it's everybody's problem, I hope. So it's for each project takes like 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. Some projects take like a lifetime. So that is where we should be focused on, because the more we use tech to design, the lesser it disintegrates our value. So for instance, VR, we started using augmented reality and VR before it became very famous. The problem is that we used to go for exhibitions and we used to make people experience it. It has a problem. You can't use it for more than 10 minutes because you generally start getting a fatigue. So people with vertigo, they'll all have a lot of problems. So you can't use that in such a close proximity. And the value of it, they say you can actually experience spaces, but it is not 100%. Yes, it is better than a normal vendor. But the great amount of technology which I see in is like, I can use my ChatGPT to create a lot of contents. And we have been using IoT. We had partnered with an IoT company, so Internet of Things. So we had used the time of flight sensor, we had used request sensor, so we can actually see like how many people are sitting in a space for this amount of time. We can get a lot of data sets. That helps a lot in design. That AI can't project it, at least at this point of time. So my idea is that we start exploring process-oriented technology.
I think I completely agree with Anirudh, because we should enhance technology in the right way. That's very, very key, right? Because again, technology, we have so much options that there are a lot of parametric it can develop for you. But again, if you think that it can replace designer, no, it can't. It can help the process. It's for any cookie-cutter design or any detailing, those we can enhance with technology. Those are the ideal options what we do. But end of the day, a creativity can't be replaced. I'll just move on to Firdaus Bashia. So again, Firdaus, you have done double masters in advanced architecture and then, so you have done more in detail, and you have worked in Madrid and Spain, where you explored a lot. If you can talk about your experience and how you started here in Chennai, and how does it help you pick up work?
Yeah, so I did my practice and education master in Spain. There's a two different thing working with technology and creativity. Of course, AI cannot beat creativity. So as like once, if you think a building like Sagrada Familia wanted to rebuild, even technology cannot do in today's time. So they are still building, even with 3D printing, it's taking almost more than 100 years. So technology cannot be created. So what Anthony Gaudi has done, sketches, it cannot be remade by any AI or whatever software is going to come. Cannot be done. So a simple thing like I worked in a corporate company as well. And also I worked with Norman Foster for 6 months, and I was in intern as in Aphrodite's studio. The creativity which they have been created, like Aphrodite's studio and also the Norman Foster, it is like something enormous. They start designing at the late night 1 o'clock. So that's what they say, like the credit comes, at the present ambience. So in AI, we can just in a fraction of a second, we can make a number of 3D. Just in a live experience, last month I was designing for a restaurant in Nunupag. The client asked me, I want to have 3D, when shall I expect? I said, sir, it takes 1 week of time, designing in 3D. And tomorrow, the next day, he's sending me images, taking photographs of his own restaurant, 8 options, with AI. So he paid online subscriptions. And he took 8 options and sent me. Sir, I said, it doesn't suit for this restaurant. But your type of cuisines is completely different what is generated here. But if you want to build, of course, you can make a carpenter or any builders to make it. But at the end, it doesn't go with the flow. So now we are actually overdoing the AI. Whatever the technologies that we have, we are not using for the specific departments. So for example, technologies for help us to build the product faster, quicker, but not the creativity. So we cannot make routine in one shot. In just 5 minutes, we can't make a design of a hotel. But AI can does. So that's what I feel, like I work in a corporate company there, they do all technical drawings, like with AI, BIM has Dynamo, which can generate all set of drawings, like for example, a hotel like 5-star, like for example this Taj hotel, the drawings can be generated easily in a span of 1 month, all set of drawings. But creativity has to be given as an input, not as a tool. So that's what I feel. And working with Norman Foster, sir, that was the biggest experience I had in my life. And he does each and everything in a sketch. Even though now we have, all this, digital tool to sketch in the Digipad, and he does a manual sketching. He started sketching around 12:30, 1 o'clock. He's around 84, probably age. So he said it comes from mind, the connection between mind and the pencil. That is the only design, we can build more efficient and the ambience for a particular client.
Completely agree. I think even Lloyd Baker was very similar, right? All his sanction drawings went to the sketches. Even for only one architect, he doesn't need to do a sanction drawing at all. He just gives the sketches. No, I completely agree, but definitely technology has a lot of, boom as well, because we just need to adopt it in the right way. When I passed out architecture and when I started practicing the first time, in 2001, my studio head that time, he's very particular that I do everything in manually. So, the rendering for one drawing will take about sometimes days, sometimes weeks also, just to render one drawing. That's the kind of work we immensely work on. But yeah, today if you look at the same, we have technology which can deliver in no time. So that's a thing. So creativity is important and that can't be replaced. But technology, we need to adopt it. So definitely it gives the faster outputs, all that. So if we do it in the right way, it'll be great. So even in our firm, we've been adopting BIM for the last 13 years now. And we, even our project manager can go outside and, we do more paperless work also. We can just, he can just check the clash direction, everything from his own drawing and he can do that. So if we adopt it in the right way, then we can see a lot of advantage.
One more thing I need to add on this, like generally the technology should be taken in a good way. So as you said, it's a quicker, faster generation of design. So there's a tool called AI Beam. So where we use technology to design. For example, the flats, apartments, it doesn't require, like of course it requires a design creativity, but not has a individual design like that. So this AI Beam can calculate the area. For example, if you wanted to have 3 BHK in a 1600 square feet, it can give 20 options in a fraction of 5 minutes. So this, if we do manually, it takes almost a week.
Vastu complaint?
One of the parameters can be Vastu also.
That can be also given as input as the Vastu, because we just need to mention as a whatever the instructions gets given. That can bring more options.
Intricate things, the size of the room, the sun.
You can get intricate also. You can give intricate parameters to.
That's how we should protect ourselves,
No, you cannot be insecure about AI taking over. Yeah. See, we have to see, end of the day, we are working for a society which needs better design, better buildings. Okay, if they are able to find out a way in which they can replace us to create something which they want, eventually they are going to replace us. But what we have to protect is not from creating something which is ugly, non-rentable, non-livable, non-usable. So those things, once we start using it, we know how to make it.
But at the same time, creative designers can't be replaced at all. Right? The
That we know.
processes, yes,
Yes.
we agree. Yes. But
It can better the process, definitely. See, every designer in this room knows the process starts from documentation, concept design, final engineering drawings for execution, then project management, handover, and post-occupancy. So this is a very common process every single person here is following. But if it can better the process,
of course,
every single step, if it's able to give us, say, 50 options which we have not even thought of, and we are able to pick the best option for the client. If it's giving us a better way to manage our site, if it's giving us better parameters and information where the building can be managed better after it's occupied, those things.
those things definitely I agree. Today we have 360-degree camera with the AI and another algorithm. It can detect any snack without any human intervention at all. It can tell you these are the lines and it can generate reports. So yeah, that's definitely agreed. But creativity is completely.
We need, even today we are struggling to educate people on creativity. Like first-time buyers, first-time builders, first-time space creators. They come to us and then we have to explain the creative process, explain about concept, because it's an evolving society and it's a growing country. So the role of an architect definitely cannot be replaced. We have to emphasize this, and then we have to speak about this in public forums. We need to explain the importance of an architect in each and every aspect in design and the building process. And we are held responsible end of the day. A machine cannot hold any responsibility for the outcome of a building. If the structural strength is not good, enough air conditioning is not there, enough fire exits are not there, enough circulation spaces are not there, who is going to be held responsible? The architect who has designed the space is going to be responsible. You cannot, AI generated layout is still a responsibility of an architect to sign off. So we can use it to our advantage. That's where we should focus.
No, we are very aligned with that. Let's move on to the next question. Again, I'll go to you, Dinesh, because you've been working on corporate spaces a lot. So what do you think, like how AI contributes to better corporate spaces? And again, do you think like the process of design, is AI replacing
yes.
human mind in corporate spaces?
Absolutely. There are a lot of information which we are getting from the AI tools, which is helping every single person. Basically, again, talking about the end user who's investing on the space, who's using the space. Corporate spaces are very, very expensive. Chennai, DLF is selling at 150 rupees a square feet per square feet. And then when you're investing on a bad shell to a completely finished space, around 4,000 rupees for a good corporate space, you know better. So for a 10,000 square feet, we are spending around 4 crores rupees. So every single square feet is important. So I have an example where one of my clients wanted to move from present headquarters to a new headquarters. So we were talking about how the new space has to be designed. So every single person came back and said, we don't have enough meeting rooms. So they wanted more meeting rooms. And then the facilities team says, see, we want more desks. We don't have space for meeting rooms. So and then each square feet is very expensive. So how do we give creating more real estate space which is not used, increasing the cost for the client? That is where our creativity and how the user is using the space, how we can program it better so that the same space can be used in a better way. That is where we have to focus. That's when the human mind actually helps.
Yeah, today we have those great thoughts from furniture vendors also. Today we have Mediascape furniture. It solves the same problem what you're talking about. This furniture has complete AV integration.
Dynamic, yeah.
Very dynamic, yeah. This question to Jayalakshmi. So how do you think like VR, AR technologies are bridging, from the initial concept to the design implementation? And if you can name some examples, your project, what you've done.
So, before I answer your question, I think one thing we need to embrace change in technology. Instead of fighting it is what we believe in, because everything's got its own pros and cons, but your human brain cannot be replaced by technology, because it comes, the ideas, intervention and input comes from us. It is only going to ease, because it's now a very fast-paced world. I don't think anybody sits at home these days, spends a lot of time soaking dal and rice, grinding and then making, your idli dough. Today, you get it, you order on a online platform, you get it in 15 minutes. So it is a fast-paced world, 2 minutes noodles world. So you need to embrace it and, try to see that it enriches what we do. So this is how we looked at technology. Today, every household, both the members of the house work or move around, and even if you want to go on a vacation for a week's time, you can just lock it up and go, and technology helps. Have you switched on your geyser or not? Switched off your geyser? Are the lights, on or off in a particular room? You have your apps to check on the move to see whether you can switch it off in remote control or switch it on in remote control. So when you say technology, it is a very vast topic. And in every technological advancement, we only see how architecture can utilize the technology in advancement, and AR, VR is just a small component of what we're talking about. We've also done interactive installations on site, where today we talk about interactive installation now here, but globally I think it has been done in large-scale building applications, starting from your Durian building in Singapore to, I think recently there is this rotating building in Dubai, which has been happening. So we need to embrace technology and see how best we can use it in architecture is what we believe in. Now, talking about VR, AR, it's not just immersive and trying to see. Now, if we need to, let's say, give them options. We're talking about options here, and your mid-journey giving you a number of options. Yeah, but I need to give the input. So here, let's say even if mid-journey gives you, printouts of 7 different options, still, probably the client is going to come and say, no, can you, do this color option or this material option. Again, I need to go back to my desk or my computers and then come up with option. Where we have seen in practical experience, what we do is we generate a design concept and then we give the options there in terms of picking up colors or materials in your virtual immersion itself, your VR, where you can go and change the color of a wall or change the material in your virtual immersion and then experience it on the go. So that's helped us actually to cut short the lead time and kind of freeze the design. It's really helped us, and yes, when you talk about anything, even if it's a walkthrough, you just make walkthroughs for 3 minutes max, 2 minutes to 3 minutes. So more than 10 minutes if you have a vertigo or you're not used to it, it does create a little bit of adjustment problem and discomfort, but I don't think an immersive experience will last more than 3 minutes or 2 minutes like a walkthrough. We've not found that difficult. We found it difficult only to, for them to adjust, and when you wear the glasses, we help them adjusting, based on their, comfort level, and then we help them and guide them with the controls of remotes, how to focus, how to navigate, how to move around. We found it difficult to move around for the first time user, to move around from one floor to the other. So what we've also found is we don't help them, navigate through the controller because it creates a lot of discomfort. So we adjust it in a laptop itself. When we go, we move, and then we've told this also, I think my architects are also here. We've told them close your eyes for 2 seconds, we take you to the first floor. So we then, on our system, we move it to the first floor, and then, they can move around and experience. For first time users of virtual reality, yes, it's a little, daunting. And if I don't focus and navigate properly, sometimes you might come outside the building or outside, the space, or go and land up in the edge of a handrail where it's intimidating. These are, yes, we've tried to overcome that by we navigating it and not letting them navigate beyond a point. We navigate, take them to a space. We tell them, okay, you look around, look up, look down, or move around and see. So these, yes, we faced it, and we've kind of overcome those glitches, so to say, because even for us it took some time. And VR not only helps the client navigate and experience a space, VR has also helped us in sculpting. There are apps which have come in, we're still exploring, where you can actually sculpt, and not just, we spoke about changing colors in a space. You can also move your furniture. Then, why did you put your bed here and why not here? And, I want my bed here. So, the client themselves can move your furniture around to see why we placed it in a particular space, and then explanation and, clarification gets a lot easier in this context. And AR, I'm speaking a lot about VR and not AR, because AR is basically, it's just value addition so far has been very negligible in terms of, explaining or expressing our design ideas. It helped us during pandemic. We're sitting here, QR code we projected when we presented it online, where we tell them scan the QR code, the app is installed, and then we tell them, okay, we present images on the projection screen. So we tell them, okay, now that your mobile phone move around, and then check out. So you can, see how it, from the exterior to interior, they can navigate and move around spaces. So AR has helped us there during pandemic time or remote control, where you don't need to actually, go there. VR requires a gadget. So without a gadget, it's not easy for people to take it around to explain to their friends and family to say, okay, this is my design, and then, can you see it, unless you procure a VR headset. So this has been our experience when it comes to
But it's generally a heavy headset, right? I think...
Not really. Now Oculus, it's become a little more lighter. Earlier, the first time when we started using, like 5 years back, I think, Oculus came with your mobile compatibility. You need to insert your mobile inside your Oculus, it is heavy. So that was a little, difficult. Yes, more than a point of time, it's difficult. And you either have to wear your lens, if you have power, you either have to wear your lens, because, with the naked eye, or if you're a person who's using glasses, it was very difficult, the AR, VR headset earlier. But now, it's made a little more lighter. And even if you're, wearing glasses, it's designed in such a way that you can wear it above your glasses, VR. So they are fine-tuning and refining. And, we've been using Oculus headset so far. Apple, we've never compatible, or we've never ventured into Apple. I've got this mindset, basically. So, lighter version, is it? We will, because I know that there are a number of gadgets in the market. Okay. Now the Oculus actually has got two versions, one with the cable and the other one without the cable. When it's heavy rendering and all of that, you need to use a cable and connect it. So, we've been trying both these, and we'll check it out. But, again, we were talking about price range, budget. and mobility also, because most of the time we meet people, clients at their residences in residential projects or their office when we're talking about offices. So, we also look into, mobility when it comes to the gadgets. We will definitely check it out also.
But there are certain limitations, challenges, but on a holistic approach, it allows clients to design faster. The decision making is much easier, faster, and when you work with global clients, it's much more easier to get aligned.
If I can add on, I completely agree with what she was talking about. See, getting client sign-off on the design is the most difficult part for now, the most crucial part of the project. And sometimes you're very close. The only change they ask is, remove this wall, turn around this furniture, change the color of this wall and change this material. That's it. And eventually what happened 10 years back when we were doing, they had to go back and come back after a week to change, see these changes real time and then approve. By the time they have another set of images and they have another set of requirements. So getting a sign off was very difficult. Real time, move this wall, remove this furniture, change the color, change the texture and then place the furniture. We can do it real time, get the sign off. That's where they stop thinking, we stop thinking, and the project moves forward. That's where it's
I'll just move on to Balaji. Again, on 3D printing technology, just to wanted to know, like, how does it enable the construction of entire building components, right? We know it's helping us in terms of speed, but how is it in terms of cost and waste reduction? And also, like, if you can talk about the limitation what we have currently on 3D printing.
See, for any designer, you can create excellent design, you can present it in a fantastic way. But we have a limitation where the client says, okay, this product is fantastic. How are you going to make it? So the limitation with our design comes from the how we are going to make this design practical or how we're going to construct it. So when we come to construction, as you know, over the ages, we have lost skilled professionals, like carpenters, fabricators, masons, for example. So these skilled laborers are going down. We have scarcity of laborers, especially the skilled ones. So we have a limitation of design, even our imagination, despite the presentation that we can do. How are we going to execute it? Like 20 years back we had carpenters who can do carving. I'm just giving an example where when the computer controlled, CNC controlled the carving came into the market. So people were reluctant to use that. So there is always something when technology is new, there is always a reluctance to use it. But these days, 99% of the carvings that we can see is all computer made or machine made carving. So I'm talking about carving, stone carving, the cutting, manufacturing of materials. That you see even the tiles that if you, 20 years back we had just paintings. Now we can make patterns with it. The creative expression on the construction depends on the design, but there is a bridge that connects us. What is the technology that we have that we can design in a way that can be executed? So we cannot leave that space, blank. You can say I can only design a better space. Execution is not my key specialization. That's where the recent development in CNC and 3D printing is coming into place, but still it is in a primitive stage of development. And a lot of components, like example, aerospace engineering or production in manufacturing segment, automobile segment also, they actually localize the manufacturing of certain components using 3D printing technology. 3D printing is basically a layer 2D creation of a product. Same way we are trying to implement in the construction field. As such, because we have scarcity of labor, material availability, and we have scarcity of time. And when you want something, create extraordinary design that to be on the site. Again, we have the limitation of people traveling to a remote place, getting it done. Where this is where the 3D printing technology helps us. We get large format, like a printer, the room size. You can build a space with a printer, 3D printer, using the concrete, fiber reinforced concrete. It builds layer by layer. So over a period of less than 2 months time, we can actually build something much faster, where vertical construction for any
time check, we just have we'll take 10 more minutes to close.
Yeah, okay. To make it short, any project, if you see the vertical construction always takes more time. So this is where 3D printing can actually help us to facilitate a unique and a better space, and make a building much quicker. Like, for example, there was a recent project that was completed last month. In Bangalore, they have done 1,000 square feet post office building. It's a government project designed with the integration of IIT Madras and LLP. They've done a printed office space. So that they've completed in 45 days. So it's a trial, still something that has happened in the country. Yeah. So something that is fascinating when it is coming to real practical application. So in future, there will be more applications like that, bridging the gap between our design and execution. That's what we're thinking is still in a primitive stage where 3D printing can be used. So,
sure. Is there any question from the audience before we close on? Is there any question from the audience?
We'll ask some questions to the audience. Because we're all the same, fraternity. So, he made a nice point, right? That carving versus the CNC. So people have not lost jobs, but we have lost the artisans. So will the AI thing do the same to us? You can ask them. See, we won't lose jobs, we'll get things to do, we'll get other things to do. But do you think that the practice of architecture, especially design community, should answer this? I think anyone can take the question.
I'll take it. Very good morning to everybody. Excellent panelists here. My name is Kosal Raman. To answer your questions, I don't think AI is going to replace human touch. Simple as that. So if you're going to talk to, there are a lot of AI, robotics, surgery happening, but that's not going to do away with doctors. So definitely AI is a tool that will enhance architects' role definitely today. So AI is used in healthcare to reduce the errors. So at the same time, AI in architecture will improve the design definitely. So that will be my response to you. And my question generally to the architects here all the time. Should architects charge more for this VR, AR services that they're providing? Can anybody answer to that?
Obviously, it's expensive. It's expensive to keep a, she knows better. You can take it.
We don't charge extras. Because one, it's a one-time investment like your printer or your computers, and we just use it to enhance experience and cut down on our time actually. The time that you go back and forth and spend it. Basically, the first-time investment probably might look like okay, but you do it for your computers, and our computers, we want a good computer in your office to render. It costs you anywhere between 1.5 to lakh rupees minimum. We want to install, so it's not even going to come up to that. So I don't think it's part of the service. It's only enhancing service and cutting down on time. So I don't think we need to charge them extra for this. I don't know once we invest in HoloLens whether I'll be seeing this. So that is an expensive affair.
But we charge it as a service, right?
Yes, that is packaged.
to add a point, see when we design actually, we make all the components in the 3D model. So when we have to present it as a 2D image, rendered image, we have to make multiple.
Mr. Ravi Kumar will be felicitating Mr. Anaya Livingston, Managing Director, Space Matrix. So please be on the dais. Again, Mr. Ravi will be felicitating Ms. Jayalakshmi Ji, Principal Architect, Epiloop Architects and Associates. Also, Mr. Ravi will be felicitating Mr. Balaji Palanisamy, founder BLJ Plus Partners. So please sit. I would now like to request Mr. Ravi Sinha from Hogar Controls India Private Limited to come and felicitate our dignitaries. Mr. Ravi Sinha will be felicitating Mr. Dinesh Sekar, founder Pranav Mantra Studios. Mr. Ravi Sinha will be felicitating Mr. Anirudh NH, co-founder J+A Design Studio. Also, Mr. Ravi will be felicitating Mr. Firdaus Basha, Chief Architect, War Architects. Can I request all of you to please come into the middle of the dais for a photo op? Thank you so much.